Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm chapter 23, verse 6. Y'all boys. I'm excited. I'm very excited about this video. So, I don't know why, but for some reason, I just had the urge to start rewatching Smallville, like, I want to say like 2 to 3 weeks ago. And usually I don't rewatch like series that are kind of like long series like that one, because I'm pretty sure Smallville has like 10 seasons or something like that. Usually I'll rewatch like an anime or something, like something more short, um like Death Note. Like I rewatch Death Note like probably like 2 times a year. But like a long series, like I hardly ever like go back to and really like get back into. But I don't know what it is. Like I just randomly put it on one day, because my first time watching it was probably like 2016, but just watching it again, I can relate to a lot of these experiences that Clark is going through throughout this show. And I feel like the constant like bug is from him having these abilities, right, and not totally being like other people. So he's dealing with that while also um juggling what he really wants and like putting that aside to fulfill his purpose, like a lot of the times. So it's like him dealing with like a lot of temptation, and it's just, I'm like, dang, that's like really relatable in this phase of my life for real. And he's just like, I don't know, it's just like admirable. And but I don't know, they really don't make TV shows like this anymore. It's like every episode, even the ones you really feel like you're not gonna care about, you just end up kind of getting into it anyway. Like it could be the smallest problem, and he's still just gonna find his way through, like make it relatable, and it really just kind of relates to real life. Like they really don't make shows like this like at all anymore. Um, Take for instance, like when he's first couple of seasons, he's in love with Lana, and it's just like every time they're on screen, like you just feel that emotion. Like it feels like you're there, and you can feel him. He'll always like talk in third person, like especially if it's somebody else like keeping a secret or something. He'll always be like, "Oh, like maybe there was a reason why they kept this secret," even though he's talking about himself. And then she'll be like, "Oh, but they should have been open with me." And it's just kind of like this, you really feel the tension, like you feel the electricity. And I don't know, it's just so cool. It's really cool that a show like that juggles like action, love, and just like emotional stability all at once. Because I don't know, even though he's like quote unquote in high school, I feel like a lot of um just like a lot of adults can really relate to it, because he's really going through like real life problems, like adult problems, figuring out his identity. I feel like that's a constant thing that people go and grow through. um he's not necessarily like chasing woman, but he wants to be in love. And there's a lot of times where like women kind of throw themselves at him, but he just knows like, okay, this isn't right. Or there's sometimes where he just kind of falls for them, and he kind of like settles in a way, even though they're not totally, I won't say like totally bad up front, but they'll always have like a red flag and end up being crazy. Like you have Alicia, she was this girl who could teleport, but she ended up being just like psycho and kind of crazy. and she was very she was very territorial, and it got to that point where she would manipulate Clark because he's he just has a good heart. So like whenever she would, or whenever anybody really tells him something, he's just going to take their word for it until proven otherwise. And it's such a like admirable and good trait to have. It's just that the thing is, like, a lot of people abuse something like that when they see you're just like a pure, like, good-hearted person. And then it kind of turns into this like back and forth, and you kind of don't know who to trust. So he kind of goes through this with like Alicia, and then she actually ended up getting slimed, which was kind of crazy. But then also with like his best friend Lex, and Lex is like a businessman, but he also has these like ways about him that are pretty dark. And even though they're best friends, like you can feel the tension with that too. Like it just feels like because the comics, they're enemies, but it kind of feels like, okay, any day now, like this could go either way if one of them just kind of decides to really take it there. And I remember one episode in season 3 where they're in these caves, and pretty much these caves kind of give prophecy to what's going to happen in Clark's life, how he's going to end up fighting this like powerful villain. And basically Lex kind of says like, okay, whoever is able to stand up to a hero this strong, he's basically saying like he deserves to be the hero of the story. So basically kind of changing the perspective of the hero villain trope and saying that a man who goes up against a man who has the strength of 10 men or shoots fire from their eyes is actually a brave man and is admirable. And he was basically saying like he'd want to be like him. And it's crazy because honestly, a lot of the things that he says, like, you can agree with, and it's like, dang, he kind of has a point, like it sounds like fire, like it sounds right. But you got him, you got his dad, and you can see that Lex has like these great ways about him, like these good ways about him. Honestly, I think he might just be my favorite character, just the way he like carries himself on screen. Like he's always, man, when my best friends came over and we were watching episodes, and each episode, every entrance would be different. Like he's either on a business call, he's either like on a date, or like at a Met Gala, he's either doing like some businessman stuff, like flying a jet. Like he's just a jack of all trades, and kind of like on some like Batman stuff. And that's just like how could you not like that, But you can see that he has his good ways about himself, and Clark kind of brings that out of him as the series continues, or at least in the first like couple of seasons. But then you can also see like the other side of him that is kind of struggling to come into terms like with his really when he was really when he's around his father, Lionel Luthor. And Lionel's just like, I like his character too, but to be honest, he's kind of like scummy. Like he's just, he really reminds me of like Scar from Lion King, like kind of like manipulative, like gonna do whatever is required to really get what he wants. And I don't know, I don't know any other word to describe him as other than like a narcissistic. Because you look at Scar, he's not as strong as I forgot Simba's dad's name in Lion King, but he's obviously not as strong like up front as him. But like, he had to use the hyenas to kind of like get the advantage, get the upper hand. And it's like, okay, he's already weak, then you can pounce on him, then you can, like do what you want to and take advantage. So that's really what Lionel reminds me of. But man, this is a great show. This is a great show. I think I'm gonna definitely like split this up into two parts, but I'll see y'all boys in the next one.